Villagers, thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. One day the say shall never cease to happen in Africa. They said the Americans were gone when the last US plane took off from the Air Base 201 in Agadas, Niger, in August 2024. The world thought the chapter was closed. The Sahel had spoken, but in the world of shadows, a departure is often just a relocation. They claim they are here to protect one particular religion, which are Christians. 170 kilometers. That is the distance between the new US footprint in Nigeria and the border they were just kicked out of. Tonight we go behind the headlines. Is this a security partnership for Nigeria or a strategic move to keep an eye on the neighbors? Welcome to the Great Realignment. It began in the dark of December 2025. While the world celebrated, the skies over Sokoto were filled with the hum of drones. Precision strikes targeted the Lakurawa militants. But the strikes were only the beginning of a much larger plan. By February 17, 2026, the whispers became reality. The Nigerian Defense Headquarters confirmed it. 100 US military personnel and associated equipment have landed at Bauchi airfield. They say they are here to train and advise. But when the equipment includes the world's most advanced surveillance tech, the advice sounds more like a permanent watch. Let's look at what they brought. This isn't just about boots and rifles. The Bauchi airfield is now hosting the Eyes of the Eagle, the MQ-9 Reaper, the king of the sky. It can stay in the air for 27 hours, watching everything from 50,000 feet. It carries Hellfire missiles that can strike a moving car from miles away. The MQ-1C Grey Eagle, designed for the army, it provides long-range reconnaissance. It can see through the dust of the Sahel and track movements across Niger border in real time. Signing tech. These are signal intelligence suits. They can intercept radio calls, satellite phones, and encrypted messages from militants and perhaps from the Nigerian military itself. Why Bauchi? Why 170 kilometers away? Because a Reaper drone can cross the distance in less than 20 minutes. The US hasn't left the Sahel. They have just moved to a more friendly balcony.
The US is sending more troops to Nigeria as the two countries attempt to mend relations in the wake of President Donald Trump's recent criticism of the West African country. So, what exactly will the foreign troops be doing in Nigeria? The Nigerian military said on Wednesday, February 12th, that about 200 US military personnel would arrive in the coming weeks. The announcement comes less than 2 months after the US carried out an airstrike against those it described as Daesh terrorists in the northwestern Nigerian state of Sokoto on Christmas Day. However, the spokesperson for the Nigerian Defense Headquarters, Major General Samaila Uba, told Reuters news agency that the next US troops will not take part in combat operations. According to General Uba, Nigerian forces will retain full command authority, make all operational decisions, and will lead all missions on Nigerian sovereign territory. He said Abuja requested the US presence to provide technical training and advisory services resources to support Nigeria's fight against armed groups. Similarly, U.S. officials had said the Americans will be involved in the training of the Nigerian military as part of ongoing bilateral cooperation under the U.S.-Nigeria Joint Working Group, which was set up recently to douse diplomatic tensions sparked by President Trump's widely discredited claims of persecution of Christians in Nigeria. The U.S. had earlier sent what officials called a small team to Nigeria, and the planned deployment is expected to boost their presence. Some analysts say the deployment of the U.S. troops could also advance America's interest in West and Central Africa, where several countries, including Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Chad, have turned their backs against Western powers, who they accuse of economic exploitation and pursuing an imperial agenda. Nigeria has been seeking international support to address its various deadly security challenges, including terrorism by Boko Haram and Daesh, kidnappings for ransom by armed groups, and conflict between farmers and herders. Earlier this month, Nigerian President Bola Tinubu visited Turkey, where he held talks with President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, with Ankara pledging more help to the West African country with military equipment, training, and intelligence sharing, further consolidating bilateral ties.
While Nigerians are getting distracted by other issues like the conflict in Port Harcourt and other regions, the US troops have just landed in Bauchi state of Nigeria. Yes, the US troops, soldiers, about 1,000 of them have landed in Bauchi state of northern Nigeria. The big question is that, why Bauchi state? Is Bauchi the headquarters or the most hot zone where conflicts happen? Bauchi is one of the most relatively peaceful states in northeastern region. Why is Bauchi state the destination for the US troops, and about 1,000 of them? Prior to this period, since 2023, the US have strategically always tried to create a peace between Nigeria and Niger Republic. However, the Nigerian government persistently declined this request by the United States of America to create a peace between Nigeria and Niger Republic. Now they've created a problem, and they are here on ground to solve that problem. Now, it's left for Nigerians. You call for it. When the consequences are here, get ready to accommodate them. Because why not Borno? Yes, why not Borno? Why not Zamfara? But Bauchi State. When was the last time you heard anything that has happened concerning security in Bauchi State? Well, Nigerians should ready to accommodate whoever they invited into their homes.
U.S. military intervention in northern part of Nigeria is not a welcome help, and it is a complete madness.
Whether we like it or not, Nigeria has been fighting Boko Haram since 2009, and the violence hasn't disappeared. But can foreign military intervention change anything? Basically, the U.S. is now sending about 200 troops to help train Nigeria's military. There are already American personnel in Nigeria, so this just increases that support.
If the government is not providing that security for the average Nigerian, then a military intervention by a foreign power is most welcome.
But what makes this bigger than just Nigeria is that the US has followed this same training and support model in other countries: Somalia, Mali, Niger, and Afghanistan. In some cases, violence dropped for a while; in others, political instability or even government collapse followed. It showed that military training alone doesn't always lead to lasting stability. And Nigeria's challenge isn't only security. Nigerians are dealing with unemployment, poverty, and limited opportunities. And these are the exact conditions extremist groups usually exploit. So what will matter more, military strength or real economic reform?
United States military cargo planes have started arriving in Maiduguri, Borno State as a part of a phased deployment of approximately 200 American personnel to Nigeria. A United States military aircraft touched down Thursday night at Maiduguri Airport with additional planes expected over the weekend. Officials confirmed the aircraft are primarily C-17 transport planes carrying intelligence analysts, advisors, trainers, and technical equipment. By Friday evening, multiple aircraft were visible at the base with equipment being offloaded. A U.S. Defense Department speaking anonymously described the flight as the first in a series of operations scheduled for the 3 key locations across Nigeria in the coming weeks. Due to limited infrastructure in some deployment areas, the initial arrivals will focus on establishing secure communication systems, operational facilities, and support structure alongside Nigerian forces. Nigerian Defense spokesperson Major General Sama'ila Uba emphasized that the U.S. personnel will not engage in combat operations. According to him, Nigerian forces will retain full command authority and remain solely responsible for all operation decisions within Nigerian territory. He explained that the deployment followed recommendations from a joint U.S.-Nigerian working group and is strictly focused on advisory and technical support. The United States officials added that the temporary mission aims to strengthen intelligence sharing, joint planning, and targeted counter-terrorism efforts. The new deployment expand an existing small team of American advisors already operating in Nigeria.
Imagine the tension across the border. Niger has welcomed the Russian African Corps. They are using Turkish Bayraktar TB2 drones to patrol their side. And on the other side, we have the American. When we are fighting for total liberation, this is not about Christianity. This is not about religion. But they use religion so that you and I who love religion so much welcome them. The first thing that they did in 2025, what was the outcome? Has the kidnapping, the whatever that they claim they came to fight, has it stopped? And for how long will they continue to be on Nigerian soil? These are the people who are fighting for the freedom of the African in the African Union Summit. We have a long way to go. They are using Turkish Bayraktar TB2 drones to patrol their side. Now, just 170 kilometers away, the Americans are launching Reapers. The border has become a tripwire. Nigeria's President Tinubu and the US have found a common interest. Nigeria wants to stop Lakurawa. The US wants to regain its watchtower. But for the people of the North, there is a hunting question. Are we being protected or we are being turned into a battlefield for a new Cold War? The ECOWAS standby force can't fight. We need the same oppressor to come here to fight for us. The giants have moved their pieces. As we move deeper into 2026, the question remains, will the US presence bring the peace that has eluded the North for 20 years, or will it spark a backlash from the alliance of Sahel states? Captain Ibrahim Traore is watching, Washington is watching, and the people are waiting. 170 kilometers is a shorter drive, but a world of difference. How can we, the Africans in this 21st century, still be sitting here expecting the same people who told us that the African is not capable of managing his own affairs come back to Africa in the name of protecting us? And when did it start? Because this same United States of America, we are having Christians in US who have been, you understand, and they will leave all these people, come into Africa to save you and I. We look at what happened in Venezuela. Venezuela is a Christian country. And at least they have the same light skin. Yet we saw what happened in Venezuela. But they love the dark person so much to come all the way into Nigeria to come and protect Christians. Are there not Christians in Gaza? Religion will be the next colonization they will use. It's even being used already. But if we don't take care, they will use religion to recolonize us the second time. Because anytime we hear about religion, the African loses everything. We don't see beyond everything. We love religion so much than our own land. Some leaders in Nigeria are not happy. Others are excited because they believe this is security. Others are saying, we are the same people that are calling for the recolonization of Africa. We are inviting them. The first one, they came uninvited. But this time around, we are the ones that are calling them to come back into Africa to colonize us. We don't hear these people going to China to protect anything. We don't hear them going to Russia. They don't go to Europe. But they always want to be in Africa. Yet these are the same people who do not want us to move outside of the continent and come there. When the US government decided to impose visa restriction, I think he loves the Christians in Nigeria so much and he didn't want them to suffer, but there wasn't any exemption. When he increased the amount of money we needed to enter into the United States of America, Christians in Nigeria were not exempted. But we are having Africans holding on to that book in the name of Christians, as if the Muslims who are also blacks are not Africans. We need to wake up. This is the black winter Captain Ibrahim Traore talked about. The Cold War, the bloody war. And when it starts, we are all going to be affected. They don't care about the black person. Always I'll tell you, nobody cares about you, the black person. So it's time you wake up from your sleep, believing that these people are coming to protect you in the name of religion. This is the only time that we have to wake up and to fight for the land. Let them keep their religion. We need our land. They have discovered a place that they work on gold, yet they don't want to go there. They want you, the black person, to go there and leave your gold that you have. There is no place you can ever work on gold if not in Africa. Wake up. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall. And united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we'll make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world, in Africa, West Africa, and in Nigeria.